Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I recently visited Ivoclar Vivident's headquarters in Buffalo, New York. And that was an extremely fun, exciting, and educational trip. I'm so glad that I went, and I'm so excited to share my videos with you guys. As I had mentioned, I'm going to be doing these videos in segments. So the first video that I am going to show you guys is my impression process for the Vivident digital denture. And it's actually pretty exciting. I'm glad to show you guys the impression process. So if any of you are going to be getting dentures and haven't gone through the impression part of it yet, this will give you a rough idea of what to expect. Although the digital denture process is a little bit different. And my next video, because I don't want to make it too long, will be about the bite registration portion of the impressions. So this video is just going to show you the impressions. The upper impression sort of got cut out because my father did the filming and he didn't really know how to film, so bear with the footage. It might be a little rough around the edges, but it definitely is full of information and will give you the information that you need. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to do my outro now. So with that being said, remember to show love and not hate. Show kindness to one another. Smile no matter what. And as always, peace.
Okay, we're making the putty to take the impression.
Okay, all kinds of impression materials that are available. This particular one is a polyvinyl siloxane, which is a very long chemistry term, but it's pretty common in dentistry. It comes in different forms. This particular one is referred to as the putty form, and I like it. Okay, open up. Now here we're going to slowly insert this. You have your tongue release, come a little more forward. And kind of vigorously massage you here. And stick your tongue out. And just relax. So I missed the conversation. Did the video not work, the first one?
No, it's her cameraman, who's also her father.
Okay.
I think it's a generational thing.
I can relate to that.
So again, you're trying to massage the
Yeah,
material.
What we're trying to do is, at least this is, we refer to this as a preliminary impression, so it's not a final type of impression for her, but I want to get at least roughly some activity, and I can't have her normally move because of all this in her mouth, so I'm trying to move for her. That's where the massage comes in place and just kind of activate her muscles just to try to give a general impression and have her tongue elevated and moved around just to try to give some what we refer to as border molding, which is to have the patient's activity try to shape the shape of the impression. This all has to be refined at a later procedure, but it makes for a good preliminary impression by having the patient activated.
And you've already done the upper. This is the lower now you're working on.
Okay, open up.
Some work of art.
And what we have is a pretty good impression of all the areas that are going to be of interest. And again, having the putty material, having a little extra thickness really helps us reach into those areas. Now we're going to refine these. In fact, what we'll do is even though this is not going to be a final impression, we're still going to more accurize this impression. So when we scan it, I could read it better on the scan, so they could outline best for the next procedure.
Now, I've done at-home impressions through the mail-in dentures, and I never have seen my ridge that small. So my ridge is actually that small.
So this is a pretty good representation of the usable part of your ridge. In other words,
okay.
I could overextend it, but then you can't use it.
Right,
And
right.
that's where you get the pain and discomfort and things.
Gotcha.
We'll get a little better picture when I do it more accurate. When I start to accurize this a little bit, you'll get a little better opinion of it.
Right, awesome. So that was the impressions. I'm sorry that the first half got cut out, but I will do some editing for this video, and stick around. We're going to do some more interesting things. All right, peace.
So if you could explain, you're cutting the excess off the first mold?
Because the first impression was just what we refer to as a preliminary impression, just to get a pretty good outline of the tissues that are of interest. And so now we're going to make an attempt to trim it down, make a little room for what we refer to as a more lighter body material. And that'll be a way of accurizing the impression. So it's really kind of nice with this material. It's soft, and I can very easily manipulate it by with a sharp blade, and just be able to cut off the excess and allow us the opportunity to relatively quickly get it prepared for what we call now is going to be a final impression.
Okay.
So we're going to do another impression, and it's going to be with a softer material, and it's, as I believe it's laid over the initial impression that he did, and it's just going to fill in the gaps and things like that. So let's get watching Dr. Frank and see what he does.
Okay. Dr. Frank, can you tell us what you're doing?
Okay, this is a lighter body material, so it's got a less viscosity than the heavier body, so we're going to use this to kind of accurize the impression. You can see within the trim back, we took a lot of the excess of the first impression back, and then this will offer a nice way of, a relatively quickly way of accurizing the impression procedure. Okay. Nice and wide. And I'm going to slowly put this in place. And you can see how much more thinner this material is. Slowly seat it. And then just relax everything.
Then after
Give
you
it a few
trimmed the,
seconds to get to what we call a initial setting stage, and then we're going to have her do a few movements.
is it comfortable, Liz?
Mhm.
And move your jaw side to side. Good, just relax. Open a little wider. Good, relax.
So I couldn't help noticing that you've got the blue putty for the general, and then you're getting the detail with the orange, that those are Syracuse University colors. So any NESU fans out there.
Great observation.
I don't know if there's any intent in that, but
We'll go with that.
yeah.
Shows that just for her.
Now this is a little faster setting material. Approximately half the setting time is the opposite material. The other material is about a 4-minute set. This is about a 2-minute set. When I say setting time, that means different things in dental terms, because that kind of combines the mixing and the actual working and then the setting time all together. So this sets up pretty quickly. Going to let it sit for just a little longer. And it feels very, when it sets up, it gets, very rubbery, very hard, and but still somewhat resilient.
And again, with this material, once you've done the impression, it doesn't change. It doesn't. You don't have to make a mold. It's just the impression itself.
Yeah, one of the nice things in dentistry are materials for impression taking is quite advanced, and so this stays very, very stable for a very, very long period of time, which becomes an important factor with this digital process, because we have to, if you don't have the equipment in your operatory, which most dentists probably don't, this has to be sent to a laboratory or delivered to a laboratory who has the special equipment for this to be scanned. So that's why it's kind of important to have a very stable material like this. This could last for weeks and weeks and weeks and not have a moment of distortion.
Mhm.
So it's pretty remarkable materials. But this is a very nice impression. You can see that it covers all the other blue, and it gives a very thin coating of very accurate skin, kind of a skin coating over the original impression. And that'll give a very highly accurate surface. A few little bubbles, which are minor. But all the tissues, all the peripheral borders are well recorded. All the soft tissue area that's going to support the denture is well recorded. So I have a pretty high degree of confidence that this impression is going to be fabricating the denture that's not only going to fit tight, but probably be very comfortable. Nicely impression.
That's awesome. Very good to do. And we're going to do the same with the bottom.
Same thing on the lower.
All right. So we're going to do the same thing on the lower, and then we will be back with more denture adventures. Peace.
Focus on it, but what we're trying to do is activate little muscles like you see there in the front, and you can see the impression compensating for that little activity by the way I massaged your tissue. You have a little cleft into the impression, which recorded that little muscle attachment.
There it is. Wow, it's detailed.
All right, now we're ready to take this out. Good. Okay, and here's kind of what our impression looks like. Again, it's still considered, in my opinion, a preliminary impression, albeit that it's got a little, that orange material gave it a significantly more accuracy. So when this is scanned and I do the next outline procedure, it'll be much a great help to me.